All I'm really doing is just trying to clean up um, everything. So, um, yeah, bolts blank. So clearly there is something wrong. I wonder if I did this and did something is not sending the information. So we must investigate. How is this possible that we have three separate things? How is that possible? Oh, it's because of the RSI. To hmm? Hmm? How is there an error? It says try. I need another try here. This doesn't make any sense why this works. Trees is not defined. Hmm? Really sucks because I don't want to have to do this every single time, but if I only have one indicator, well, actually, I take that back because this actually should be used for when you have. There needs to be a, because I'm gonna have to make one that is just for one thing. Like you're gonna send it over one. You're gonna just test this one thing here. Well, I guess I don't know. I guess there could be a situation where you avoid this. Then the problem becomes this. doesn't make any sense. The try, it's there for a reason. Using number. God damn, it's cold. God damn it, it is cold, 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 cold. Huh? It works. Okay. Figure out why number doesn't like it. Why does number not like it? Tuple index out of range. That's the whole point of this, is to try. But that's, how is this? That is the point of this. What do you mean? Point of this try. Point of the try. Ugh, I don't understand. What the fuck, man? Why does number not respect these tries when it worked previously? I don't understand. I had to switch it up to do if entries dot in dimensions equals this, then do this. So now I have to do the same thing down here. Instead of this try, the whole point of this is if you get an error, then you do this. I have to do the same thing. If entries then do this, else do this. It's so annoying. Why is it not catching the try? Now it works on one. So now I have it set to 2 dimensions. The break even thing is not working. But at least it's working with number. Oh, it's annoying. Anyways. So basically all I'm going to be doing for the rest of the day is going over all this, making sure that all of it still prints out the correct information. Then after that, putting all of this stuff into tuples. I think, yeah, putting it into tuples as far as order goes, order result. I think I might, because the check stop loss, got the prices. This would be account. This would be for the average entry would be, I guess average entry would be part of the account. But this is gonna get a little messy if I have like a group. Say I eventually move over to being able to test things in a group. Because there's going to be a different position for each account. Uh, so I guess there is an account tuple. There is a coin tuple. So on that coin, there is going to be the average entry, the cash borrowed, this um, liquidation price, all that stuff. And then the account, there's going to just be available balance and equity. That's the account. And then each coin is going to have this. So I guess the order result is what's going to hold. No, I don't think you can do that. The coin? Oh, but how do you hold separate information? You'd have to like dynamically create a different account, a different order result. Anyways, okay, so there's gonna be an account, then there's gonna be I don't want to call it an account. What do I want to call it? Because the account has the available balance and the equity. The trade has liquidation price, so this is the order. This would be the account. And then we have order results. Well, I don't know also why these things are not blue anymore. Why are these things not blue anymore? Language mode is Python. Anyways. Okay, after searching and searching and searching, I think I finally realized that the problem as to why these were not showing up as the colors that they were supposed to is because at the very end I had this. And so it was looking for more stuff to return the entire time. I went through and I commented everything out, and then all this stuff was fine. But then as soon as I got down to here, that's when the reload problem in the coloring was completely not working. And so I'm assuming that it was because that it was just trying to continue to return a whole bunch of stuff. So if we go over to here, and we come all the way down to, where the hell? All the way down to here. Should get everything to show up in the proper color. Should. Oh, here we go. Well, because this one works. It's the proper color. This one is not. But wait. What? 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 Anyways, this is what I'm trying to figure out, because without this thing being able to be checked, I'm completely screwed. So we will continue down this journey of trying to figure out what's going on. Because the weird part is this is thing.py, which is literally just me copying the oh, this is probably the word wrap. Oh yeah, it's word wrap. It's just a copy. It doesn't make any sense. Anyways, I'm gonna be looking at this. Okay, something weird is happening, because here, okay. So it doesn't seem to be anything to do with these returns or anything like that. Doesn't seem to do anything with the order. Nothing. You can see here. So I guess it has to do something with something in the code somewhere. Now we will analyze it. So that works. So we'll just have to go through one by one of these things and see where it gets stuck. Let's see. All right, so the problem seems to be somewhere in here. Because the file is taking forever to analyze, but as you can see, it got all the way over to here. So what the hell? What is this? Walkthroughs? So maybe it's possible that I can find out what those problems are. I'm gonna be so pissed if oh, because I went and uninstalled all of this stuff to try to figure this stuff out. So yeah, it has to do with what? It's still here. Something is going on here. Something is going on here. Nice, I think. Reload the thing, man. So it does seem like, so if I come down here and I remove this stuff, right? And then I go back up here, we reload. Once we move down to here, for some reason, there are some problems. It's very interesting. I wonder what happened if we did this. Oh, it's not gonna. Here's the Ting Man. So there's something in here. What could possibly be causing this issue? I think I found the problem, that over here we have this process stops like this, and then over here we are trying to send it the prices. Oh, what? Something is not something. But no, so far, yeah, I'm sending everything that needs to be sent here. And the crazy thing is that it actually works, but it doesn't. So maybe the answer is somewhere. Why is it within process stop? So clearly there's something wrong with the process stops part of this. So I guess I just need to figure that out. And maybe it'll go back to normal. Something is really wrong here. Because well, not really. My average entry is here. Where's my stop loss price? Here. Okay. You're telling me that there's no situation? Wait a minute. Stop loss to break even, 0.5. But why is this 0.5? Hmm? Why was this not divided by 100? Yeah, what? What? Stop loss to break even is 0.005. How the hell? Oh. Has to be order. I think that's what it is. Stop loss to break even, then trail. Order. Down here, I'm not sending order. I think. Order result. All right, now I have to figure out. So maybe that's why it was stuck, is because I was trying to analyze orders. So we have stop loss to break even. Oh God, this is so disgusting. Okay, so we have this needs to have an order. This has an order. This has an order. Want to record stops. That's not. And then this is trailing stop loss based on order. This is order. This is order. This is order. This has all the orders. But why was there a problem with this? Okay. So maybe process stops. Still not doing it. So weird. Now when it wasn't working, but then when I commented this whole thing out, and then I went this section, then this section, then this section, then as soon as we get here, seems there's a problem. Seems there is a problemo. Seems like there is a problem. We get to the order records. Is there a problem with the order records? So it seems to be this right here. I wonder what happens if I move it up like that. Will we get all of this to turn blue? Wow, we got it all to turn blue, so there's gotta be something wrong with this log records fill. But it doesn't make any sense. I'm returning log records filled here. I'm returning order records filled here. And it works when I run the thing. The log records filled, order records filled. Order records filled end. New order records filled new. Look at that. It works. Wait, what? Oh, that's on the thing. Uh, that is very, very weird. So process stops. Is available. Cash borrow, cash new, equity, fees paid, liquidation price, log count ID, log records new, order count ID, order records filled new, order status, position, realized P now. What the fuck? What does this thing not like about this? It makes no sense. Temporary order. Why does it work though? Why do I have this one? What? 3 files to analyze. Wait, what? Now it works? No. Why is this one still so fucked up? Oh. Wait, it's done? Analyzing? How? Wait, what? This makes no sense. Anyways, I'm gonna stop recording until I actually figure it out. So I think I might have found the problem. Here, it's a process order in B. It's a record array. And then inside of here, it is a record. And then this is a record. This is a record. I don't know what the hell a record array is. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's see. I don't know what would be a record versus a record array. So now they're all records. Maybe? Oh, I said I was gonna stop until I finished it. Um, it's the only thing so that the record, the only thing that I could think of happened is it came in as a record array and then it got processed and then this was looking for it to be a record. That's the only thing. But this shit is still not whacking. Order records and log records is the exact same thing. I even went up to this section up here where we process order MB. I even copied this and put it down here. And it did not work. Hmm. How is this possible? Is this possible? How is this possible? How is this possible? Oh, order records is order records. All right, tp.record. This is tp.record. This is tp.record. So everywhere it is a record, this thing is still analyzing. How is this possible? Order records equals this. Where is the problem? tp.record, tp.record. Where is the problem at? Get it. The biggest problem is like I can't really move forward unless I figure this out because there's no way it's going to tell me what errors there are. It's not going to do any of that stuff. So it's like I literally cannot move forward until this is done. How fast that goes. That when it gets here, it's looking for temp order records. We send it in here. We process this. It looks for .tp.record. Order records filled. Both of the times they're an int. Maybe this is a signal that I just say fuck this and get rid of this process stops. Oh, wait a minute. What? It's done? There's no way this is real. Three files to analyze. What? Yeah, so this still makes no sense. I completely changed this to process order in B. And with this particular thing still here, it yeah, this is the Python language server that analyzes all the stuff. And for some reason, it just does not like this. I don't know what I did. Even when I put a 0, what if I put this? Order record equals temp log records. And so technically, long operation gets an token delta. But the problem is I don't know what the fuck is this thing even analyzing. Why is it the order records? I deleted all the cache. It's this. If I switch over to this, I switch over to the pre-release version. Let's see what happens. Maybe if I go back one more release, it'll actually work. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this is fucking killing me because this is just unusable unless What's going on here? I don't understand why this thing has such a fucking problem with this. So I ended up just creating a new simulate.py. And this is very weird because I can only have this once, it seems. I have this here, and I don't have it here. So if I do this, and then I reload it, it's going to work. But if I have it twice, it doesn't work. If current indicator bars. See? And then if I do this, this will eventually update. Okay, and then if I come down here and do this, this will eventually update. Yep. But if I try to do both, it dies. So it should have updated by now. And it's just this one thing, and it makes no sense. Why can I call log records twice? Maybe I need to do so maybe I need to have this process order only called once like he does, and move this up to here and say like if we're in a position, then do this, and then uh and then don't even run this, and then uh if there is an entry, then so like I say, if there's an entry, then you do this. That's all we're basically doing. If there's an entry, you change the price. But if we're in a position, we also need to, and we need to close out of it, we need to do that as well. Because if we're getting in at the open, we need to check to see if we get into a position. If we do, we get the price. It would be such a waste though to do it. I don't know. I don't know. Hey, all right. So I downgraded. Oh, thank God. I downgraded the Pylance, and now it works. So I don't know what the latest version is. I don't even know what version I'm on. 22.12.20. 22.12.20. Let's try this one. Reload the ting. But anyways, 22.12.20. I know that if I just downgrade, because I noticed that I was like, this is not working for some reason, randomly, and it's this thing to do with NumPy. It's this problem. Because I remember when it works properly, it does this, and then it does this NumPy thing, and then it eventually fills everything in. Or it should at least. Obviously, I don't think it works with this one. think there's a problem with NumPy. Okay, so I need to update this. Um, was it 23.2.10? 23.2.10. I think it has to do with NumPy. Anyways, I'm just gonna have to go back a couple versions. I have no idea what's wrong. What version am I on? Current. Try to go to this one. Reload the Tingman. Oh, it's SK Learn. Maybe it's SK Learn. What the hell is this? Come on. Lord. Holy Jesus. There's no way it's been going on for this long. I wonder if I just downgrade NumPy. Did I always have ignore updates? There we go. What the hell? So it's I either downgrade NumPy or Anyways, at least figure out what it needs, and then we'll post up the error in the PyLance thing. We'll give them a list of all of the pippers. Gowd. Now maybe I can even change my theme. Be nice to maybe have something like this where there's a different. What the fuck? Why is this? Some of these seem different. Hmm? Oh, I deleted all my themes. Okay, well, there we go. Now we can get back to work. All right. So now that everything is quote unquote back to normal, um, I was trying to think about how do I get it to the point where I just call this process order once. And I don't think that that's possible because we first would have to check to see if we, like, let's say that we have, say that we have a candle and we get in at the open of the candle right here. Well, if we check to see if we got stopped out first, on the first go round, like this is the first candle or whatever it is. Well, that didn't happen. So then we get ourselves into the trade. Then over here we check to see if we got stopped out on this candle, which wouldn't make any sense because if we get into a trade at the open of this candle, then we have to also check to see if we get stopped out here, which I guess, yeah, I don't understand how you could get in at the close. You can't get in at the close of any candle. You have to get in at the open. And so maybe if I look through the vector BT stuff to figure that out, but um, yeah, I just don't understand how. Maybe I just do that. Uh, yeah, let's take a look and see if we can figure this out. So amount of coins grouped together, the amount of bars. So get the size, use stops, if use stops, okay. So this is getting the stop information. Then you get the signal, if use stop, and stop price. Stop price, price. If it's a long entry, a long exit. Based on what? This is I? So we get the stop price. Okay. if U stops, if U stops and this is not nan. So this is the price, and then it would get the price, the exit price, the close. If it's a long entry, exit, whatever, then here, if its use stops is false, so if it's not a stop order, then you create the long, or you create the position here, and then you get the signal size. Then you save all the information, and then you go into creating the order. I don't know, I still don't see how that makes any sense. Because let's say that we're on this candle. We check to see if we got stopped out. If there is no stoppage, then that means that you can possibly create an order here. And if we created the order here, then we run the order on the candle. And then the next thing we do is we go to, after that's done, then we, oh, wait a minute. I think for him, oh, yeah. Because I think I remember down here, you get yourself into the position, you create the order, right? Then you process the order, you get all that stuff, and then if there's use stops, then you check the stop loss. So if this has been filled, then you check to see if you got stopped out. So there's like a double check. So I guess for me, because you have to, I guess it looks like you have to double check this. Because that's what he's doing up here as well, I guess. Because if use stops, then you do all this stuff, then you process the order, and then if use stops, if the status was filled and the position equals this, then you close it, else it's like half of the position. So it looks like no matter what, you're gonna have to double check. So for me, I guess I shouldn't have deleted the other process stops. The process order. Oh God, I didn't delete it. Thank God I didn't delete it. Um, so we process these stops. All right. Okay, so let's bring this bad boy back. That means that we go back to this. Yeah, oh man, it's so good to see this thing back like this. And here, we'll delete all this. Let's have pass for now. And then actually, I guess we'd have this. And here we would get rid of new. Get this, and then we'd also actually no, that's fine. Here we have equals. Process stops. And then inside of this, so that means I also need to change the process orders. Yeah, so so we need to remove a lot of this stuff and so I think it's time now for what the hell? Okay, the word wrapping. I think it's time to put these checks, the order checker, here. I guess we'll have to run the order checker here. So I guess we have to create the order here. His order is this. Anyways, I'm hungry. So this is what we'll be working on now that I finished this just disgustingness. We'll have to do the order. I think we should create the tuples first. Because sending all this shit back and forth is really annoying. I'd rather just do account and but the account, the only thing that the account has is just available balance in your equity. Everything else is liquidation price is the order, position is the order. But if you're, yeah, I guess you can do all of this stuff, but the problem is going to come when you're grouping things. How do you deal with that when you group? I guess how does he deal with it? he just creates the order. So I guess for me, I'm gonna run into a shitload of problems when I get into this point. And so it's like, okay, here we go for a bar. We go for one bar. Oh, I guess I'd have to just have another for loop inside of this for each group. But each group is going to need its own order that is created. So I guess here I would just process. I would just send the order to this, and then we would process all of that, and then we'd come back up to the for loop, and then go to the next thing in the group, and then process that order, because the order is always going to be the same. Yeah, so actually it'll be fine. It'll just be a for loop. So I guess at the end of the day, we would need a for loop for the coins. Then we would need a for loop for the order settings. Oh no, the group is not, that wouldn't work. Because if you had the coin, then how would you group that? That wouldn't work. That coin on the coin on the last one right here would be testing each coin separately. But if you wanted to run each coin in a group, I think I'll just have to create another. I have to create another function that's exactly like this. Simulate group from signals or something like that, and then that way it'll completely change the for loop, and we would have it set up exactly like this, except that the group would be inside of this bar. So we'd go first, it would be, and then inside of this bar it would be coin, and then so inside of the coin we would create the order and all of that other stuff. So it would just have to work like that. Instead of doing it, but he obviously does it way more efficiently. But anyways, all right. So we have made a couple of these tuples here. The account state tuple. Then we made the order result tuple. Then we made the order tuple. Now, the thing about this order tuple thing is that some of these things are not going to change, like max order size, percent. I'm not 100% sure. Anyways, and so what we will do deleting all of these. And we will pray that the docs thing actually works. Now we're gonna have to do Yes. Okay. Like this will change. This is not going to change per order. Some of these things will change. The change is going to be based on whether or not in the initial thing here, it's an array. So max leverage is not going to change in the order. This is not going to change this, not going to change. Slippage is not going to change. But the rest of these can change. So or yeah. So I feel like there needs to be some type of split. But I guess I'm always going to have to send this when processing. I'm gonna have to send all these and just do a quick check to see is size value, if size value is less than this, is less than this, is greater than this, is greater than this, if leverage is greater than this, yeah, those will just be really quick checks. And there has to be a leverage order and a leverage order result. Because if somebody just wants to use regular leverage, then it is, that's gonna change. Stop loss percentage, slippage percent, I mean. Uh, um, uh, I think that's it for now. I think that is it. Uh, anyways.